to blast.
We should do the iCarly like.
Wait, what?
No.
I think you're the only one who watches iCarly.
Okay,
I
quiet.
used to.
10.
It's not you're not here.
5, 4, pray.
We are Journals Out Loud. I'm your lovely and captivating host. And my name is Louise Planker. I'm here with a panel of wise and wonderful teens. We are an extension of our iOS social advice network app for teens. And we are here with a panel of wise and wonderful teens to answer all of your pressing life, love, and teen-related questions, which, you know, these questions really apply to anyone of any age because we never really stop being human. We start being human around the age of 12. Before then, I'm not exactly sure what it's called. No, I'm teasing, of course. But you know, as you go through life and you go through adolescence, all of the issues that you face really kind of haunt you throughout the whole rest of your life. So I like to say, you know, hey, this is good gymnasium for a teenager is really hard because all of life is coming at you, plus all the hormones in your body's changing and everything. So it's complicated, it's confusing, and that's why we have a panel of experts to help guide you through it. Because if you can get through adolescence, you can freaking get through anything. Am I right? Am I right, team?
Hiya!
So we've got Brady on the panel.
I was
Brady,
like, can I get a hiya?
can
And
you
then-
get?
Hiya.
Hiya.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
Hiya.
Yeah. Brady, what's going on with you? You got a play coming up?
I do. Yeah, the Jew Who Saved Christmas. You can go see it at Zombie Joe's Underground Theater.
Are you in the
North
title
Hollywood.
role?
Who Saved Christmas.
Ah.
I play a Bible thumper. who
You can come see it
comes to
at
the
my
door.
house.
And an elf named Sandy.
All right.
Ah.
So
Excellent.
Double book.
And
Double roll.
Josh
I am officially feeling better from my surgery.
had his wisdom teeth yanked.
yeah.
And I got very poofy, but thank you to Elliot at Space Ghost and Locke at Lockhart and 200 and Pagan Princess for giving me soup suggestions. I took them to heart.
Thank you.
And
Save your life.
for me, I'm just working on school and work, and I have the Hollywood Music Awards tomorrow, so check out my social media. You'll see what I'm wearing.
Oh, are you gonna?
Red carpet.
You should Are you gonna bum rush anybody? Like, who do you want to see?
Oh, there's so many people I'll probably bum rush.
Okay, so we want an accurate
Name
report
one.
next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Lyric, what's up with you?
I am just living the life.
Oh my God.
All right, you've taken my advisement.
No, I mean school, and we're off tomorrow, so that's I think.
In honor of my birthday.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, veterans,
birthday.
comma, and
Wait,
Weezy.
we're not getting
Exactly.
the day off because of her birthday.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't get the memo?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, just
It's
living.
government sanctioned, Kenneth.
I got it.
It's like, yes. Thank you, veterans, comma, and Wheezy. I mean, that's in...
Duh.
Kind of disrespectful.
It is disrespectful, and my dad was a veteran, so give it up
Oh.
for our veterans.
Respect again.
Yeah. Yes. So, Kenneth, what is up with you doing the high school thing?
Yes, junior year is impossible for all you juniors out there. So if you're still alive and you're a junior, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, juniors. Give it up for juniors. Snap,
To be honest,
snap on the juniors.
I think
snapping.
there should be a similar holiday for juniors.
Yes,
I
like
think that juniors go through exactly the same amount of suffering as veterans do.
How about like Universal Junior Scream Day, where all juniors just get to exit the building and just scream,
Sure.
Kind of like senior
my
skip
God.
day, but like scream for juniors.
screaming.
Scream for
Sometimes
juniors.
like
That's
All
a
right.
hashtag.
for juniors.
So we're gonna jump right to the news. Did you guys read the news article that I sent out to you?
Yes.
I did.
Yes.
Social media.
So it's
I don't
about a
think
teen model who believes that she was living a lie, and who can give like a little bit of information about what this is, because I'm kind of tired of talking.
Already.
There's a video of her talking about it, of like the life that she's gone through.
And what is her name?
Elsis?
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 You can't find her anymore. She's offline.
Oh.
Right.
That
So
was a trick question.
no, it's a trick question. Yeah. No,
Interesting.
I don't have her name typed here because I'm remiss. I just have a link which I can't. I'm trying to.
So we're unprepared for
Doesn't
this
work with-
segment.
But apparently she felt like every single thing that she posted was kind of like altered in some way, and she
Yeah.
felt like she was like living her life based on what she thought other people thought of her, like based on how many likes that each photograph would get. Like her whole entire worldview or self-view had to do with how other people were reacting to whatever she posted. So Brady, your thoughts?
I actually I really like the subject of this conversation, and I want to know what you guys think, because you guys are younger and you guys are actually like
I'm older than you.
Well, that's true. Actually, Josh is
older than you.
But you guys are like still in high school, so like social media is like impacting your life in a very important way. And I basically like, what this girl is saying is that she was basically performing for people, right? That's a lot of what social media is.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really get into like the deep parts of our lives because those are private. That's what we really keep private. But everything else is like the show that we put on for the world. Look at my life. Look at how I'm doing. Look at how pretty I am. It's performative. And I want to know, like, how do you interact with that?
Well, yeah, like on social media, like no one puts up a bad picture of them.
No
one, like, when you're having a bad day, you don't take a picture of yourself. You're like, I'm having like, you post the best parts of you. You don't post it when you're alone watching Netflix. I feel like social media is more of like, you care a lot about what people think about you. And I feel like that's a lot of the time now where you're less independent and more of like with people, and you care more about what everyone else thinks about you. And I feel like this girl kind of had enough of that. I feel like she hit her peak where she was just like, I'm sick of having to care about what other people think or feel toward me, and I'm gonna like.
I think she had to kind of.
Did she?
Well, that's what it seemed like. She felt like she was in this place where her life was basically a fiction because she was living so much of it online, right?
Well, I think it's like sort of like an exacerbated version of the lives we all lead. You look on social media and you see, are people actually having a good time, or are they documenting a good time so that we think they're having a good time? Or is it more important to have a good time or to show the world, oh, my life is pretty and fun and I have friends and like, what are we actually doing? And because we all have the temptation of like, when everyone is around a birthday cake, to like not just sing but take a picture so that you can show people, oh, I know someone who had a birthday. Like, what are we proving to ourselves? Are we proving to each other? Yeah. Are we validating that we're all alive? Like, what's happening?
I think it's also just kind of to have someone to like look up to and be like, oh, I want to have that life. Like, kind of, like having an idol type of figure in your life. Yeah.
Great analysis.
No, but we used to just read the fan magazines and like look up to the person. Now we're part of the parade that everyone looks at. Like, part of what entertains Josh as he's scrolling across his phone is maybe something I posted. Like, I'm part of the media he consumes. And
that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that really weird?
We're all creating the media that we all consume.
Yeah. It didn't used to be that way. Like, before, our media was like purely, what we consumed on television or in movies or, books or whatever.
There were all these other gatekeepers that decided what we were going to see and have
and now
access
it's
to.
all us.
Yeah.
But I think that there's like an aspect of it where like we see like what's on television, for example, Two Broke Girls. Who wouldn't want to have a life like Two Broke Girls? They have so much fun on TV. I'm just using it as an example. Or Friends or whatever.
But like, it's changed so much. Like TV, like selfie, and just like
those are words.
It's just like, and then
there's a show.
There's a show called Selfie. I wasn't just being like potatoes. Like, I wasn't. It's not slam poetry right now. Like,
I thought you were just like TV, selfie. These are buzzwords now.
No, like there's a show called
hashtag.
There probably is a show called hashtag.
Yeah,
I think,
sadly, but like, I don't know, and I feel like. Back to the idea about this girl and like the life that she's put out.
I found her name. Sorry, Kenneth. Her name is Essena O'Neill. She decided to quit social media at 18 years of age.
Essena.
That's her saying that she's going to quit.
How long do you think she's actually going to be able to stay off of it?
Probably like a year.
No.
Because she
How
probably
long?
reached a boiling point. Like water reaches a boiling point, you take it off the fire, and then like 2 minutes later, it's like, oh, I should heat up this water. Right?
Yeah, that's a great analogy. One for all the teens out there. Boiling water.
Kicking it old school. But yeah, like it's like
Aaron's raising his hand.
Oh, Aaron's raising his hand.
Yeah,
Okay.
just some backstory on this person real quick, and I'll go away because you
great.
can't see me.
Okay.
Basically, she did go off social media, and that's like half true, half not true, because she is off as herself, but now she's her real self on a blog and only a blog, right?
So she's all famous for being offline.
Right, exactly. Now she's internet famous for being anti-internet fame.
Wow.
And she has like a
my
blog where she posts stuff like, let's all be, it's okay to be emotional and it's okay to do this and it's got to be real. And I think that's a good message, but it's a little like counter to her saying I'm going off of social media when she's doing a blog every day, and it's conflicting. Anyway,
It's an
do
all-new
carry
blog
on.
with 50% less selfies. Yay.
Yay.
Do we have a phone call? Oh. The number. Oh, we are 888-531-7171. And for the first time with our new panel, we are taking your calls. Space Coast, this means you. Question from Ken, who is a girl. So I don't understand what that means unless the initials stand for something, because I've heard of girls taking names like Kevin and Devin, but Ken? Haven't heard that one yet.
Not
We're just
Barbie.
Like, what a name.
You're pretty-
Anyways,
you're-
your
you're-
question.
Your name was safe from the girls until tonight, Kenneth. So she, because like boys, like used to have names like like Avery and Taylor, and now it's like, oh, I have a girl's name. How did this happen? All right. So Ken, who is a girl, writes, I've been in an on-off relationship for 4 years now. I found out he cheated on me, so we took a break over the summer, and I started talking to his best friend. We hung out a couple times, and recently, I had sex with him. I didn't know this was going to go there. Sorry. Now the best friend, kids, cover your ears. Now the best friend is telling me that he can't do this to his friend and called things off. I'm still head over heels for him, but he won't talk to me. I went back to my ex-boyfriend because I needed comfort, but all I think about is his friend. I have no clue what to do. So it's like one thing that people don't always realize when they're teenagers is that sex is a really, really powerful thing. It's not just like playing tennis with someone. Like, oh, I played tennis with someone. I can't remember his name. Sex is like, not only is sex like a really powerful thing between two people, but it's like such a powerful thing that like people will actually walk into a room like 50 years from now, look at you and him and be like, oh, those two did it. Like it will still matter
Yeah.
in 50 years. It's like got this power. So thoughts?
I mean, I think that, it's an absurdly powerful thing, and it's, we're introduced to it at an age where we just can't understand it.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Oh, go ahead.
Really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I will be right back.
So sorry.
We love you, Lyric. Don't break the show, but we love you. So that camera probably needs to be readjusted. Yeah, it's like people think that when they're like 12 and they start to feel sexual feelings, we're getting the camera back adjusted. That this is just like some sort of urge, like a sneeze that has to happen, and in a way it is if you do it with yourself, by yourself. But when you involve another person,
Okay.
it's kind of like a lot more than a sneeze. It's like
Yeah.
it's got feelings are attached to it. It doesn't exist in a vacuum.
No, definitely not.
Camera on
Yeah.
Brady so that Trish can sneak through the. Oh, all right.
Well, I think that, like, going back to the question, like, you shouldn't be with your ex-boyfriend. Like, you slept with someone else, you slept with his best friend, and if you're not going to tell him, you shouldn't be in that situation.
It's lies.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Kenneth.
Oh, the thing is that like you hear the saying that there's like a web of lies because it leads that, or else it's the situation is that like you have to understand that if this is bringing you that much anxiety, or if this is like causing that to you, that's not the way it's supposed to be. If this person is really your friend, or you should really be having sex with this person, there shouldn't be any pressure or anything else added to it.
Now that Lyric's gone, the boys can get real.
Get in there, Aaron.
Real boys chat.
Get in there, Aaron.
Call in.
I'm in the chair for the first time in ages.
Aaron, your thoughts. But I would like to hear your thoughts specifically on this situation, Aaron.
So, just kind of one quick note. This is the first time we've ever had only boys on the panel, ever. Literally the
Oh,
only time.
wow.
Yeah.
Boys talk.
All right. So this question, I'm sorry, I was busy doing directorial things. I could not pay attention to the question, which is so it's bad that I got on right now. But
Well-
Okay, so she slept with her ex-boyfriend's best friend.
Yeah.
And now
nutshell.
is going back to her ex-boyfriend.
Right, as if that didn't happen, and her, or I don't know, she can't stop thinking about.
Well, that in itself is a problem too. Like, you can't have feelings for someone else and be with somebody. Like,
Well, I mean, I guess I was trying to, like, when it comes to sex, I have this sort of like urge to tell people, you shouldn't see what happened, and like I know that's not helpful because this already happened, and so I think we need to focus on moving forward rather
Definitely, yeah.
than lecturing her about
Yeah.
the power of sex, because I already said that. But so how does she now move forward? If she is going to learn, if we should all go through life like learning from mistakes maybe that we've made, or that I mean, parents are telling you from a very young age your actions have consequences. So she's experiencing the consequences. What is her best course of action, Aaron?
So I read through the question again. Sorry, real quick.
Okay.
My quick assessment is, at the time you weren't with your boyfriend. It's been on and off this whole time. That's probably for a reason. Like if your relationship isn't like kind of steadying out, and this has been for what, 4 years. This doesn't sound like maybe like it's working. So the fact that you were off, and the fact that you weren't really ever completely on anyway in the past 4 years, like you kind of have some leeway here. I don't think it's necessarily wrong that while you weren't explicitly dating this guy, you slept with someone else. I don't think that that's necessarily a problem. This guy feels bad because you've had this 4-year long history with his friend, right? And he's like, you know what, I slept with you, and that was like what it was, but I've got a friend and he has been with you, so it feels wrong to me. So that's his issue. You don't necessarily have to feel bad about this.
But should she be going back to her ex when she really has feelings for somebody else?
I mean, I don't think that her ex is probably someone that she should be dating if it hasn't worked out over the course of 4 years. Brady.
It's the Friends dilemma. We were on a break. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen that
Yeah.
show. And for all of the high school and young middle school age teens in the audience,
Watch
Friends
it.
was a show that aired in 1994.
But isn't
It's
it
all on Netflix
It's
now.
all on Netflix.
It's all on Netflix.
That's true. Yeah.
It doesn't lose its potency.
Definitely.
It's just as good.
And it
I think people know what friends are, though.
Well-
it's not like
maybe they don't know that
Have you heard of Lucy? She was a funny lady in the 50s.
okay, so Ross and Rachel were the perennial couple on Friends.
Oh, but not
Right?
till like halfway. Well,
He
he
always
was
liked her.
always in
Season
love with
one,
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So-
was always in love with her, but they weren't a couple until.
And then season two. Season 2, Rachel realizes her feelings for Ross. Media chat, by the way.
trivia about friends now.
Rachel realizes her feelings for Ross, and then season 3 they get together.
Oh, okay.
Right?
It happened
Season 4,
right,
things start to go a little bit south,
And they were on a
they
break.
go on a break.
right.
Right? This hypothetical break.
Break.
Brady,
What
no.
does that
Which,
even mean?
yeah, it doesn't. It means you're broken up. It should.
It should.
Right? But was it okay for Ross to then go ahead and sleep with somebody or make out with somebody if you're a teen?
Right.
And while they were on a break, was that okay?
And for you toddlers out there, holding hands.
Coloring with the same person.
I think a lot depends on how the couple defines the word break.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, but like if you say that, like, okay, we're just gonna see other people for a little while and then go back to what we had. Is that possible? Is that okay to actually see somebody? And I have an answer for this, but I want to hear your.
Well, I
Kenneth.
feel like if you're you're in a relationship and you've come to the point where you're like, I need a break now, probably not a good relationship.
Definitely,
Like,
yeah.
You know, like you never hear like, marriages or like lasting marriages nowadays where there have been like, oh yeah, we had a break in the between of our relationship before.
Yeah.
Like it's always been like we dated and then we married. There was never a point where back then like, oh, I slept with their best friend, or like, oh, like they stayed together through all of it. And
No. You are wrong. And you
Well,
will learn more the older you get. All right. I don't know whether or not people go and sleep with other people, but one of the defining points of deciding whether or not a lot of couples get married is they have like some big talking point, like whether it's like religion or kids or whatever, and they split. and they decide, oh, I'm completely unhappy without you, and then they come back together and get married, or they stay, or it's the breaking point and they go in opposite directions. But I do know a lot of couples where the defining moment was trying to be away from each other, realizing they were both miserable, coming back together and getting married. Like, it does happen that way. Whether or not there's some infidelity involved during their break, I don't know, but it can be the good test of like the relationship.
Are they still married? Did it work? Or
I know lots of couples where. Good question. I know one couple where they're not still married. Okay.
Oh, man, chat.
Who wants to talk?
Just gonna say quickly that about the break definition and like what it is, and I think that if you're gonna take a break and you say you're gonna see other people, don't see other people that they know.
Yeah.
Like
That's good. That's good.
Wait.
what were you thinking?
We have a
That's
phone call
true.
though.
That's sneaky.
Phone call.
Okay. Space Ghost. Are you there?
Yeah,
Can you see our new studio?
I can.
Do you fully realize that I'm on a completely opposite wall? I just want you to be aware. So say hello to our new panel.
Welcome to Man Chat.
Plus-
We've
plus-
got 4 men waiting to take your question.
Hey, Space Ghost.
We're in the man cave.
Man
Space Ghost.
Cave.
Okay, bye guys.
You-
Do you have a question or a comment?
With the question, I guess, it kind of,
Sure.
I don't think an off and on relationship for 4 years is going to work out in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
really.
was in one of those for 2 years, and it
Yes.
never did work.
Yes, you
Yeah.
have been. It's like off and on, like I was saying to Kenneth, off and on once or twice, maybe. Because, like, my mom and dad are a good example of that. Like, she wanted to get married. He didn't. She finally said, I can't do this anymore. And then he finally came back and proposed. So that's the kind of thing I mean, like, that kind of breaking point. But, like, on again, off again, on again, off again. Like, you're right. Well, what have you fixed that's going to be different when you get back together? Is that what you mean, Space Ghost?
Yes,
Like, it's going to be the same problem. I mean, have you experienced that in your relationship?
I did. And she really didn't have feelings for me the last year that we were together, and she cheated on me several times.
Ugh,
And
that's heartbreaking.
yeah, it didn't work. And I didn't know this until like last month, and we broke up in January. So yeah.
Does it still like hurt a lot? Like has it like even though all these months have passed by,
Yeah,
is
it
it
hurts.
still No, but like months pass by and like
I've been broken up for a year and a half. It still hurts.
Welcome to Love Line.
Right.
Where we're
Give me that
taking
look
your
like,
love
how
question.
dare you?
How dare you say it doesn't hurt?
Space Ghost, this is your lesson for tonight. Do not confide in Brady. He will make fun of your
You can
issues.
tell me anything.
Brady feels no emotions.
I feel emotions.
I know, I'm just teasing.
Mostly anger.
Rage.
Man Chat.
Man chat. All right, thank you for calling and making those points and for being our first caller in our new studio.
Yay!
We're sending
Space
you,
Ghost, we'll
we're
see you in
sending
the
you a
app.
new car now.
See you at Journals, and
No.
thanks. We love you. All right, next question is from Anonymous. I feel like I'm not good enough. When I play sports, I could play the best game of my life, and my dad will say, good game. See, I do an impression of
That
the
was
dad.
good.
But you could use your screens a little better, or next time you need to make a better pass. My sister does the same thing my dad does. It just hurts me to feel like I am disowned and never enough. All right, so I would definitely take the word disowned out of like this entire paragraph and your entire thoughts
Vocabulary,
about
yeah.
your life and your family.
Wheezy.
Yes,
Why? If that's how she feels. That's how she feels.
I think she's using the wrong word, Aaron.
I think you're right, but she needs to identify what that is and start with disowned,
Disowned
and
feels
then
like
work
a strong emotion.
right, and then work from there.
Right, but I think like a member of the family, you should have checked your vocabulary and gone to thesaurus.com and used the word I feel like underappreciated. Your family, they may think you did fantastic, but they only feel valid if they're making suggestions. Like
That's
it's
true.
almost like people who have a job at a company and like whenever the boss walks in, they act like they're indisposable when really they weren't doing anything and everything was functioning perfectly well without their input. But so it's like parents and siblings can be like, yeah, well, the reason you played great is because last game I told you to watch your screens. Like they want to own it with you. So it's not necessarily a diss. And I think the word diss is how she feels, but it's them wanting to take ownership in how you do. And you should state your needs. So sometimes I just want a plain compliment, and then later the next day we can talk about, the fundamental, whatever it is.
Pass the ball to Kenneth.
Pass the ball to Kenneth.
Okay. But I feel as because if they feel disowned, then first of all, who are we? We don't know your family. We don't know your situation.
Mm-hmm.
But you honestly, I feel like you shouldn't feel disowned, or you shouldn't feel that way, because maybe your dad is, because depends on, he's just trying to be like, hey, you did a great job. But I don't know. Sometimes when you hear, oh, you did a great job, you're just like, okay. But maybe if you hear oh, you did a great job, do this better, some people will take that as constructive criticism, I guess, and will learn from it. And then maybe the next time, if you don't do that or do what he told you, then he'll be like, oh, that was a great job. And if he doesn't, then be like, hey, what happened to that? Did you notice that I did this better this time? And then
there needs to be a progression.
Yeah, conversation about it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So going back to don't feel disowned or whatever, I'm like, okay, well, what does disowned mean? I mean, it's
we're giving you up for adoption, darling. Well, I mean, you didn't play well enough.
They
can't pass a football.
Right, but that's the imagery, right? The imagery is, we don't want you because you're not good enough for us, right? That's what it comes down to. So you play the air. Oh, with it sounds like, I just wasn't, you won, but it wasn't good enough for us, right? It wasn't enough. Didn't quite, you passed other people's tests, you didn't pass our test. And I think that is something that is addressable. Disowned is a really strong word and not really applicable here, but the emotion that fuels that word, you can totally talk about that. Brady.
Yeah. And I think that, they're your parents and they want you to do good at whatever you do, and your dad knows about, and he's making these comments and he doesn't understand how seriously you're taking them. Some people don't take criticism very well, and that's a very understandable part of growing up, not feeling like you're good enough. But I feel like there is a point where your parents can take it too far, and even if they mean well and they want you to just do better at whatever you're doing, you have to sit your dad down and saying, look, I don't really care how good I play football. I do this because I want to bond with you, and when you say these things, it makes me not want to bond with you. Also, there is the possibility that he doesn't know about football at all, and he's just saying these things because he wants you to be impressed with how much he knows about football.
Maybe he just wants to install some screens at the house.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know what that means. I think he's just saying things that sound like football terminology.
Well,
he's like, yeah, that's a good pass, son, but it could be better.
I think a takeaway here is that right after a performance, and a game is just like a performance, you want to just compliment the person.
Yeah.
It's not any time for instruction, because it's the big emotion of the emotional output of the moment, putting on a play, doing stand-up comedy, being on this show, playing in a game, whatever it is. You just want your parents to hug you and say, honey, you did spectacular. Then maybe the next day you can say, hey, let's review, and you're more open to taking notes the following day. But in that moment, you don't want to hear, oh, it should have been better, because you're already your own worst, judge. Mm-hmm. You just need your parents to love you and say, great job. And the same applies for any of your friends are in a play or whatever. Don't go, backstage and say, I loved everything except the part where you said that one thing. Don't say that the moment they're coming off the stage, Kenneth.
I reread the last part of the question, and it stated of how you could tell that it really did hurt you, and that it wasn't just your dad, it was your sister too.
Mm-hmm. She was jumping on, oh, this is what we're doing, we're getting on this one.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like now is a time, this is a time where people don't really say how they feel anymore for embarrassment reasons, or I guess emotion isn't a hip thing nowadays. But
wow, Kenneth, going deep.
High schooler. But I feel as if that is something bothering you, we need to start getting the way that we feel across to our parents, to our friends, and to our siblings. And if she feels like the way that her dad and her sister and her sister are treating her, then she should probably speak up about it and be like, hey, I really appreciate everything, but, maybe if you could be a little bit more chill about it. And, yeah.
as soon as you bring it up to your dad, he's gonna like understand,
Exactly.
or he won't understand, and then like just find any reason to avoid playing football. You know,
or just recognize like that's how he feels like he's a part of your football career.
yeah.
But it's not that you didn't do well. It's just that he wants to be a part of the team that makes up everyone who supports you. We're going to move on to the next question. Anonymous writes,
Cool.
I have this new neighbor boy, and I think he's really cute. Our families went out to dinner, and we seem to get along. His mom told me he is into me, but I also know he is talking to another girl, not sure if they are just friends. I'm 19 and a sophomore in college, and he's turning 18 soon and a junior in high school. Should I give it more time, wait for him to make the move, or shoot him a Facebook message? I'm feeling like way too big of an age gap here. You guys have any thoughts?
Well, she did say he was held back. So he's not necessarily, it's only 1 year difference.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
So
only
I
one
did
age.
answer this question in the app,
Okay, go ahead.
actually, and I said that message him, like, why not? Like, there's nothing wrong with messaging and being friendly with somebody. If he's interested, you'll be able to tell. And as far as the age difference and being in different stages of your life, like you're in college, he's still in high school, yeah, that's a little bit different, but your ages are closer in range, so it could work out, but you have to just make sure you still have separate lives as well. Like, he's doing high school things and you're still doing college things. You can't be merging and having only high school friends and him only having college friends. Like, it has to have separate lives, and there's certain things you have to go about and go through this relationship if you're going to do it, Brady.
His mom told him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like,
Told
thanks,
her.
Mom.
Yeah, thanks. Mom.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That
absolutely
happens, though.
crazy.
It happens, though.
Mom's got the dish.
I mean, I think that like
That's a cool mom.
well,
Is it though?
wait, right, exactly.
Your
Is it
mom
no-
is your wingman. Like,
No,
that's
yeah, I
pretty
mean-
sweet.
No, but
hey, you
Ken-
know, my son's kind of into you.
but Kenneth is right, because like,
Uh-huh.
is it though? Because sometimes parents are like, I could see them together. Oh, I think this
Yeah.
is it. I think.
I mean,
yeah.
like I want to be that kind
I've
of
had that
parent.
happen.
You know, it's just
Ooh.
rare.
No, but here's the thing.
Well, no, I mean, well, yeah, Kenneth.
Max making dad. Like, hey,
Say that word again. Get it right.
match making dad.
Kenneth.
wow. Congratulations.
Guys are
Can
the
pronounce
best.
words.
But like the point is, like, that's like you're getting into meddling parent territory, because like they say, oh well, you know what, he's talked about her before, maybe he's into her.
Yep.
Maybe I can make this happen. I like this kid. I'm going to have this kid get with my daughter, or get right, like, not like that, but basically it's like well, like, I don't care so much about the person that he's actually interested in, but I do like this girl. Maybe I can make this happen, right?
I think sooner or later you'll find out if that's the truth, though, too, because
Yeah.
if he doesn't
Yeah.
like you, he won't respond.
There's no harm in shooting a Facebook message, like, ever.
No.
With anyone, right?
Exactly.
It's
Unless,
one of those
like, you're
yeah.
54 and she's 12. Like, then I would say, no. Let that one.
My
No, that-
son still lives at home. He needs a wife.
That means like
But-
the
Please
moms would
date
be
him.
friends. Like the mom's like, hey, do you think my son's cute? Like, it's really weird.
No, but I mean, almost like
Maybe
at-
she's rich.
At 18 and 19, it's like almost like, your mom's like, oh yeah, I could marry into this family. Like, I've like kind of cast them as like
Yeah, well,
definitely
I can
go for
marry
it.
into this family.
Well, like, because
Were
I
they
mean,
the Habsburgs?
weren't they hanging out as families? Like, like the neighbor boy. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
could see this working.
It's kind of a boy next door kind of scenario.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
like what Josh said about like respect that you're kind of still in different worlds for a little while, and like that people have work to do in their respective trenches, and don't expect to pull anyone completely away from their life to be with your friends. But the one question I wanted to throw out to you guys is like, do you guys feel like if the girl is the one who's a little bit older, that she should do the asking? Like, or would an
Ooh.
18-year-old boy ask out a 19-year-old girl? Because I don't know if he would have that kind of courage. Aaron.
I mean, just anyone can ask anyone out, regardless of. I mean, obviously there are age differences where no matter who you are, you shouldn't ask them. But other than that, like, who wants to ask should ask, and that's
Yeah.
like.
Is that a Bible quote? Who
Yes,
wants
it
to
is.
ask should ask.
He
Part
has
of the
that-
11 commandments.
Thou who shalt ask will ask.
Oh my God.
Botched
Kenneth-
pronunciations tonight.
I think Ken has been trying to say something.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Kenneth.
Well, I'm a junior. I may not be 18, but I am a junior, and it is a very stressful time, and there's times where you just don't have the time.
Yeah.
Like, even if you do like a girl, there's just not enough time to text her or anything like that. And even that might sound strange, like, oh, if he doesn't have enough time to text me, then he doesn't like me. But that's like, that's not how
That's how we all
though.
talk.
Yeah, you guys all talk in deeper voices. But
Man chat.
but I think that if you like him and you think he's a cool guy, and maybe if he is talking to another girl, take in mind he's a high schooler, and he's like, if he's not going to be thinking that deeply yet. We're not that evolved yet, hopefully.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
But I mean, if she likes him and she thinks he's a cool guy, go out, Don't just have it be like, oh, I'm going to like
Wait
with
till
my
he's
binoculars across the house.
Good
neighbor.
pronunciation.
Peeping Tom from the trees. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you like him, send him a Facebook message, hang out, see how it works out, and then, do the first step. So.
Brady?
You want to say
Brady.
my name?
Yep, there we go.
I'm just going to stare at you just so.
Okay. No, but like, yeah, I think you're spot on, Kenneth.
Thank
and
you, sir.
I also like, I wanted to respond. Should like, with your point about the age.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, they're 18 and 19, so I think that like as soon as you hit 18, like there's a certain limit, but like 18 when you're 18, I feel like you can be pretty much confident asking anybody out. Like up to a certain point. Like I think I'm 19 right now, and my limit is like 22.
You cannot ask out my
Well-
mom. You.
I won't.
Wait, isn't
No,
it
but your
you have a
mom has
limit?
already asked me out.
I know she's very forward.
I think. Well, I think the bigger issue here is more of like high school versus college, not necessarily the age, because they aren't
That's
that
true.
far.
He
They're
fe-
not.
he
that
feels
far.
like he's swimming in a different pool. That-
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
environmental. It's
But it
environmental.
really isn't that
It's
different.
not, no, it's not.
Well,
But it's not the age,
Well-
though. It's the school. Like,
Yeah.
there's a difference between being 18 and 19, both seniors, and 18 and 19, one in college, one in high
Yeah.
But
school.
I'm saying
Yeah.
like high school and college, like I mean, depending on which college she goes to, it's not that different.
Well, I mean, like,
it's different lives.
Well,
It-
you have a life outside of college. Like high school, you really it's
Yeah.
just high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to this one
They make-
building.
They make sure of it that it's
Like-
just high school.
yeah.
yeah, like college is where you become who
More-
you are. Like,
more
True.
independence and like thinking for yourself
But
rather
he's gonna be
than.
there.
Oh,
next
mom,
year.
are you picking me up?
No, he's a
Okay, I'm
junior.
outside the building. Yeah, it's like you're
Good
in high
impression.
school. You know what I mean? Like
We all talk that way, by the way.
you're not even allowed to be off campus when you're not allowed to be off campus. And at college, it's like you take your class and then you go wherever you want. And so that freedom alone makes you feel more like, hey, everything's possible. And so a high school kid, he may not ask out of college. He may feel intimidated by that. Like, so that's why we think maybe you should reach out to him a little bit.
Well, it's
Yeah.
always good if the girl reaches out.
Yeah.
Like for sure. It's
It's
always
true.
yeah.
It's
I can't really think of any
It's-
guys who would be like. I've never met. I'm sure there exists, but I've never met a guy who's like, she's gonna ask me out. Oh God, I'm done.
It's a
Yeah,
dream.
it's really
it's
not
a
that way at all.
dream.
Like,
It's
it
a
really
dream.
is.
Girls,
For
please.
most guys, it's
Turn
a dream.
the tide. Turn the
guys.
tables, please.
So much pressure.
And we like the things that when I remember, like, this is gonna sound awful,
Man chat.
but
Seriously.
low key though, man chat.
Yeah.
But
The next question.
if
Okay.
I
Pound
believe-
it, Josh.
Oh,
Go ahead, Kenneth.
I didn't even see.
Kenneth is getting vulnerable
I
right now.
forgot. I forgot what I was gonna say right now from all this man chat. So
That's
I'm
okay.
Just,
It's
I'm,
okay.
We're
I'm
just
so
go to the
sorry.
next question.
Which
All
is
right, well,
which
this
has to
is
do with
question.
man chat.
This is a really good question for a panel full of guys.
Yes.
True.
Lay it on us.
Do guys really have side chicks, or is that just an inside joke for your gender?
This is totally a girl
Oh.
question though. You can tell like she was just like mad.
The whole
All right.
thing that
Yeah.
makes,
Wait.
Let me finish the question, Aaron. The whole thing that makes me really self-conscious when it comes to guys. I guess that's a sentence. Okay. Anyway, Aaron.
Okay, so do guys really have side chicks? No, but jerks do.
Ooh!
I mean, like
Sorry, Mike.
someone who has a side
Matt. Matt.
someone who has a side chick is someone who is cheating on you is someone who
Yeah.
is a jerk, right?
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
that's the order.
No
of
one worth
operations.
your time is gonna have a set.
No,
Exactly.
it's true, but
exactly.
but
had to
I've
pause to
heard
shake your
that there's a breed of guys
There is.
Yes, they call
Who-
jerks.
who have like a list of girls in their phones, and there's like the most
Players.
desirable girl that they'll call like on Tuesday, and then like by Saturday they're just calling. They go down the list, and they don't really care that much about individual girls other than just
True.
getting what they want.
Do you-
Kenneth.
I've had a situation like that where me and my side chicks, dog. Like, no, I mean, where a girl has like straight up asked me, is like, hey, so if we are going to talk, are you going to talk to any other girls? And it's a completely valid question because
Totally.
like, there's a difference between talking to a girl and dating a girl. If the guy has side chicks when you're dating, whole different story. If you're talking and he's still talking to other girls, you know, you have the right to be annoyed, but maybe not angry or like he's cheating on me. And if you feel like maybe that is how you feel, talk to him about it and be like,
He's like,
Aaron
he's
is
just getting
just
ready
shaking
to
his
like.
So yeah, one thing that I need to make very clear to everyone listening, boy or girl, is that inevitably, as you go through life and you are in relationships, the person you're in a relationship with is going to have same-sex friends, like or and opposite-sex friends, right? Like both of those things are true, and you need to be okay with that. You need to deal with it. That's just a thing that's going to happen. You cannot be jealous about the fact that your girlfriend has a guy that she's close with, or that your boyfriend has a girl that he's close with. You cannot go there.
But what's the limit on what type of language you should be? When you say talking to, I guess, Kenneth, you mean texting, right? When you say, "Oh, I've been talking to this girl," do you mean texting with this girl?
No, like I've met up. I've seen this person before, and like we've had a.
Well, whether
Really?
it's texting or talking in person, if a girl says, "Are we exclusive?" at that point, the other girls that you talk to, you can't do like winky faces, and you like it. It does change the way you treat your friends, like how flirty you can be with your friends, right?
yeah.
So like, there's flirty.
Yeah.
But you know when you're some people don't, but for the most part you know when you're flirting. All right? And and if you don't before you send that text or send that email, take a step back and say, would my significant other be cool with me sending this? If they read this, would I have to explain something to them?
If you don't know that you're flirting, I don't know if you're that aware.
No, it's so odd. But the thing is that it's so sad because people actually say that. People are like, "Oh, I don't know when I'm flirting. I don't know that." It's like,
yeah,
you stop
you
that.
do.
You
do.
don't. You know when you're flirting. You know when you like. I remember it's like, I talk to them. I don't really flirt. It's like,
Of course.
you know?
I mean, if what Kenneth was talking about is like, okay, well, I'm not serious with any girl, but I would like to get to know this girl better and get to know this girl better. You get to do that. That's part of growing up.
Yeah.
Just before you decide that, oh, I would like to date you. Like, I don't think a girl should get to like pinhole you like that early. You could say, there's a nice way to say like, well, I'm not quite sure yet. You know, can we just get to know each other better? Like, how do you guys feel about that phase where it's not dating yet, but you're talking to several girls, but you don't want to be accused of being one of those jerky guys that Aaron mentioned? Brady.
I think that in high school, like you can typically, and in middle school, by the way, college, as you get older and like your interests diversify, it's harder to find people with your interests. So you're obviously gonna like find friends that are in different, sexes and genders and whatever. But like in high school, I typically follow a rule where guys typically don't talk to girls, and this is vice versa too. Guys typically don't talk to girls unless they're interested in them, and that's just a fact of life. It's true. Like if a guy just starts talking to you out of the blue, like, I mean, chances are he's interested in you, right? I would say, yeah. I mean, because like
I
otherwise,
have to disagree.
why?
Girls and guys can be friends without having to be interested.
They can be, but I say like if a guy just starts texting you, right?
Maybe you've got your number from another friend. I don't know. It doesn't mean it's interested
But why?
though. Like,
Kenneth.
There's always going to be that big controversial thought of like, can guys and girls be friends without there being anything else?
I think yeah.
But I'd have to say nay on that one.
So wait, why? Wait, back up that claim because I disagree with you. Why? Tell me why.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends on the girl and the relationship. But I feel like this is gonna sound really strange, but like that's how it's like meant to be. Not meant to be. I mean,
Ooh.
not.
Wait. In
This is
defense of
getting
Kenneth,
weird.
I think what he means is romantic tension.
Yeah.
that it's just in the
Always
room,
there.
whether you're at work or whether you're at school.
I agree
it's
with
just a
that.
thing that exists, and it's an aura around people, and it's magnetic, and you have to acknowledge that it's a thing. And the more interest you have in talking with a girl, the more you could be like, oh, I would kiss her. It doesn't mean she's your perfect wife. It just means romantic tension. Kenneth.
Okay, I'm gonna backspace what I said really quickly and repeat it. The gender or what you're attracted to, if you're going to be around them and you find them, attractive in a way, because maybe you don't find that this person attractive, and then maybe you can be friends. But if you feel like they are attractive in somewhat way, there's always going to be a hint of sexual attention.
Of course,
Yes,
there will
and
be.
it doesn't. It's not a bad thing. It's kind of the energy that sort of fuels us. So it's actually kind of a great thing. Brady.
I mean, for most people, like when you see an attractive person, like there is that initial thought of, am I attracted to this person? Whenever you meet a new person, it's just there.
It runs through the computer of your brain, and it just runs through.
And you make a decision, then.
Yeah.
For guys especially, this is true, I think. Guys make decisions immediately. Am I interested in this person? Do I find this person attractive? And if the answer is yes, then there's always going to be that tension, And there will always be, the possibility of a moment where the moment is just right and two people are attracted to each other and they get together. That will just happen, even if they're friends.
And usually there's forces against that
Yeah.
just keeps an equilibrium in life going. Aaron.
So, like, in all my years doing the app and doing the podcast, like, one thing has, like, it's kind of stereotypical and it's kind of like a blanket statement, but it has been true every time. If a girl likes a guy, she just probably likes him, but could like him more.
Yeah.
If a guy likes a girl, he likes the girl.
Yep.
He does every time. That doesn't necessarily mean he wants to date her. It doesn't necessarily mean he's only talking to her because he likes her like that. But there is always, 9 times out of 10 is fair to say, but almost always the guy will really be into the girl on some level.
Yeah, I think girls, I think there's another layer to it with guys, too, is that they don't really, and this is going to sound really, really shallow, but I think it's a true thing, and you guys...
Just say the truth.
Since it's a room full of guys...
say the truth.
Preach.
I don't think that guys have female friends that they're not attracted to. For one of the reasons is because they don't want to be seen with a girl
It's
that
true.
they don't think is attractive.
Okay.
No, I would probably have to agree. Maybe. Yeah.
You would?
Agree.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I mean, most of my friends, there is some mutual like initial attraction. Like I don't want to be with them, but there was, and I mean, I have to like I'm on the fence of this issue too. Like I have to say that in some instances you can be friends, in some instances you can't. Like it depends on the people in the relationships. I used to be like hardcore, like you can be friends, but situations
Like
I've
2
gotten
minutes
myself
ago?
in. No,
Yeah.
I didn't even. I was saying that, but I used to be like super hardcore on that, and not like situations I've gotten myself into has been like it's proving the opposite, right?
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know.
Well, I just think like I was out with a coworker and he just said we were sitting at dinner and he was like, "So do you think everyone who's walking by us thinks that we're on a date?" And I was like,
Probably.
"Well, we're on 3rd Street Promenade and we're a guy and a girl, so yeah." He was like, "Yeah." I didn't
He was
think it
into you.
I didn't,
He was
so
into you.
Of course, but
He was
I
into
didn't
you.
think
He
it
was.
was a date at all. But in that moment, I realized, oh, okay, I get it. So if a guy is spending time with you, he wants the world to see it as a date.
You got tricked.
Well,
you got tricked onto a
okay,
date.
So here's the thing, and I think that this, like, even after everything that I've said and whatever else is, I think that here's the thing that clears this up the most is that kind of the question doesn't matter because whether or not he likes you, right? He's still friends with you, and if he's a good friend, it's because he wants to be your friend, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not because necessarily he wants more.
No,
Even,
he
like-
may not
like-
really be expecting more, but he just kind of wants the illusion or for the world
Well,
to see it as
I
this.
I wouldn't even necessarily say that. I mean, like.
Yeah.
For example, like, let's say you're already dating someone and, like, it's a committed relationship, whatever, and you're happy with that, whatever. You meet a girl and, like, oh, cool, you know, like, even if she's attractive or whatever, you're friends now. It's not necessarily because you want to be seen, like, out with her, like, oh, look at this girl I have around my arm or whatever. Like, that's not necessarily why you became their friend. Hopefully it's not why you became their friend. Certainly not consciously. But if you are attracted to her, just so we all are clear on this one more time. If you're attracted to her, that does not necessarily mean that you are vaguely at all thinking that that's a realistic notion.
True.
No, it may not be that you expect it, but if out of the blue, poof, it happened, you'd be down. I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
That's perfect because that's the case in so many cases.
Yeah.
Poof, it
great-
happened. Oh, you know what? I'm okay with this, but maybe the girl wouldn't feel that way.
Great
Brady.
scenario. Yeah, I want to like add a caveat to the whole guys and girls can't be friends thing, which is guys and girls can't be friends, but they can be best friends. You know, there is a certain point where it transcends because we're all human and we all have these, human qualities that transcend our attraction to each other.
Okay.
We find if you really connect with somebody on this deeper level, I think that, there might still be attraction there. But like you guys know at the end of the day that you mean something to each other,
Right?
And that can happen,
Yeah, especially if you get to that point where that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I really value just the energy that's exchanged between the two of us, and I accept the terms
Yeah.
because your humanness is way more important to me than your sexualness.
Kenneth had something.
Kenneth.
Oh, my thought was just like I even have a friend that is just like lesbian, and we've been friends for such a long time. But even though it's like she's a lesbian and everything, she's an attractive person, and like regardless of anything, if you're attracted to a gender or a type of person, regardless of anything, even if you're just friends on the basis, there will always be that like.
You've thought about
Of
it.
course.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's just completely normal and expected.
No.
All right, we're going to move on. That was a really good question, Anonymous. And then we just started with side chicks.
Yeah,
right?
like
Anonymous
Wow.
always has like really good questions.
He is
I don't
so
understand.
bright.
Anonymous is a busy person, a busy,
Cupcake.
popular person.
He really is. It's a very popular baby name. Cupcake in our app anyway. Cupcake1152 writes, this guy was bullying me, and then I started bullying him because I was sticking up for myself. Then he told me then he told his mom that I was bullying him, and he didn't admit that he was bullying me too. So now I'm probably going to go to jail. Can you stick up for yourself without bullying? All right, before I throw it to the panel, I just want to say that one of the experts in bullying that I read online, a blog, said that kids go from bully to bullied really, really quickly, which is what makes it so hard for staff and administration at schools to really figure out what started it, who was the instigator, because most bullies had been bullied even if it was like second or third grade, and then they become the bully because they don't want that to ever happen again. So let me throw to the panel and hear you guys' thoughts, because this sounds like a complicated issue, especially if we're talking about jail time. Josh.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Like, what did you do?
did you beat him with a baseball bat?
Yeah,
You're just
was your bullying like on a different level than what happened?
Like, if you're
and
bullying
or you're
included-
exaggerating about the jail part. Like, I'm not
Well,
quite sure.
okay, so just real quick, just based on what little I know the situation in the app, is just like this person's kind of young, and
Yeah.
so like, oh God, I've hurt someone. I've never done this before. Does that mean I'm going to jail now? Right.
Also,
No.
if you are young, and it involves juvenile court, then it's really about rehabilitation. Who wants to talk? Matt? Matt.
Dun, dun.
Helps if I pop myself up. I will talk, but put the camera on somebody pretty. So
Me.
no, my
Josh.
thought on
I'm
this,
pretty,
and this is exactly what happened to Cupcake 1152. It's my hockey analogy. They never get the guy who slashes somebody. They get the retaliation. The refs always see the
Yeah.
retaliation. Well, your teachers at school are going to do the same thing. They might miss the first incident, but if you come back at them in the same way and stoop to their level, that's probably going to get caught, and then you'll be sitting there like this going, it's not fair.
And it
But-
also, if you're the first person to inflict physical, and it's the same with siblings. Like, you could have a little brother that's like poke, and the second you go whack, that's when mom runs in and you're like the bad guy. So
Yeah.
do not resort to physical harm ever. Brady.
So, yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think that like an opportunity like this. By the way, jail time? Really? Wow.
But jail time isn't going to happen if you are under the age of
Uh-huh.
18.
No,
because
no.
the court system is really about taking kids and going, all right, how can we correct
I think this
this
person's probably being a little bit dramatic, unless like the bullying was really extreme, which is why I share the same "what did you do" kind of sentiment that Josh had. But
yeah, I mean, if you were willing to tell us what you did, we could help you
Yeah.
feel better, but we don't know what you did.
I think this person is probably pretty young.
Yeah.
Just judging by what they're writing. And I think that, right now is a good time to start practicing alternative, solutions to resolving conflicts. Like, kids need to learn that violence isn't the only thing,
Also,
that's out there.
what's going to get you out of this mess is not saying, hey, nobody knows what he did to me.
Yeah.
This isn't the time for that. Now is the time to simply apologize for your actions.
Kenneth, what do you think?
Kenneth.
Okay, this is not meant because there was a lot of throughout this episode. There's been Ken, psh, are you a girl? This is not to make fun of someone's name, but Cupcake 1152. I would just have to guess it's probably a younger age group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so first of all, let's get the point across. You're not gonna go to jail.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not. And if you did something wrong, and even if the other parent doesn't know that this person was bullying you first, apologize and realize that it's not the best way to handle the situation, and realize that that's just going to happen in your life. That when I was in kindergarten, that would happen to me all the time, where this kid would do something, I do it, I'd get in trouble, I'd be like, what?
Hey,
You don't understand. And that's just how the life works sometimes. But that's just how it works sometimes. And so what you got to do is just, you lost this round, and you got to be like, you know what? I'm going to just be like, I'm sorry for what I did, and learn from this and move on. Aaron.
So, I'm just thinking about, worried about going to jail. I think probably some part of you knows that you're not actually going to go to jail, but it's that idea is coming from the guilt, because you feel really guilty about this. You feel that you've done a bad thing, that you did the wrong thing.
She also feels really misunderstood because nobody knows what was done to her.
I mean, that might be it. I think that she's worried about, retribution, kind of, how is this going to affect me going forward? Because, I don't necessarily feel bad about having done what I did on the face of it, because I was protecting myself, right? But what it boils down to is you defended yourself, and that didn't look good, but it's not necessarily bad that you defended yourself. It's important to protect yourself when that's necessary. But in this case, right, if you're going to look at it as you're the good guy, then if you fought back to defend yourself and you did something to them, never let it happen again, and apologize. That was good that you defended yourself. Keep being good. Go all the way. Don't just protect yourself. Go back to this person and say, listen, here's what I did. Here's why I did what I did. I'm sorry that I did it. I don't want to hurt you. Can we go forward from this as friends? Josh.
Okay, so I'm a little bit sorry, Cupcake 1152, for taking us off topic by saying jail, but your question was, can you stick up for yourself without bullying? And that's yes. You can.
You
Plain and
can.
simple.
Absolutely.
And what I also want to say is that, all through life, but especially when you're young, we're basically just reacting. We go through life and we're basically just reacting to the stuff that happens. But what happens as you gain wisdom and you get older is you can reflect first before reacting. And you can see, I have 27,000 different options that don't include punching this kid in the face. But you just, as a child, no one's expecting you to have all that wisdom yet. And so own what you did, and then learn how you could have defended yourself without becoming the bully. Kenneth?
Okay, this is gonna kind of sound psychotic, but when someone
Okay, Kenneth.
Okay.
Interested.
Strong intro. Strong intro.
will you murder them?
No, please.
We do not condone murder here.
Kenneth, please don't kill the kids.
Man talk.
Man
But,
talk. Man chat.
Man chat. But there's this person in my math class, and they do that too. They kind of bully, and you go through everyone goes through that phase where you're like, I'm gonna bully this person back. I'm gonna do it back to them. But you got to realize sometimes, this is gonna sound strange, but sometimes laughing is the best way. If this person's going out of their way to just
True.
screw you up,
Yep.
and just be completely irrational towards you, just laugh and just be like, really, you're doing what you're doing right now, this is pretty funny. And then they kind of just feel like, oh wait.
I love it.
So tomorrow when you see him in
diffuse
math,
them with,
So tomorrow when you see him in math class, just laugh.
Oh no, I do that every time. It's so funny. I do that, and he's just like, okay.
No, he's
Hopefully
right.
he's not
It takes
listening.
a ton of confidence, but it really diffuses
He's
the
anonymous,
power
right?
if you laugh at it. It's like we laugh at we laugh at like big bloated bullies on TV and in movies and stuff like that, right? So it's like the same thing. Go ahead, Brady.
Oh yeah, that's the ultimate power play, is to not care. Well,
Yeah.
like that's what they say about trolls on the internet. You know, is if you're somebody who's trying to mess with you, just don't respond. It's puppies try to get your attention, and they bark at you and they claw at you. If you don't respond, what do? They go to sleep, or whatever puppies do, because puppies just don't know what to do besides sleep.
That's the thing on the internet, though. When you hear stories about someone getting mad at something that the troll person does, you don't.
Good reference, Kenneth. You're really in touch with the cultural zeitgeist.
You don't think the troll person is being stupid. You think the person reacting to it is stupid. You
Sure.
laugh at them. You don't laugh at what the other person is saying.
Yeah.
And so, that's what we need to realize now, is that reacting and taking it seriously isn't always the best route.
Yeah, it's like those prank phone calls. You wind up laughing at the person getting really angry.
Yeah, exactly.
Any closing thoughts, gentlemen? Brady?
I have a service
Oh my God.
where you can go. Hey, I'm just saying, if you're being bullied,
Yes.
right?
Right.
There's a place on the internet where you can go.
Right.
I'll take care of those bullies for you.
Brady Glasser, stopsbullies.com.
Brady Glasser throws the bullies away.
Oh.
Don't pet the bully.
It's not a website.
You just look outside of your
.com.
house.
Not even a
trash
website.
can is just full of bullies.
There is a garbage dump somewhere in the world.
Oh my
gosh.
goodness. With that, we're going to have to close. We love you. Thank you for being with us tonight. We will see you next time on
Yay.
Journals Out Loud.
We did a great job, even without lyric.
Good job.